Once Upon a Time in Storybook Ending. You find that the lazy dog itself has been, in a word, transformed. Almost as if the town is going under some sort of metamorphosis. But now, a battle is brewing. In the street outside the Fox Jumps Public Library, skirting along the edge of the town's internal park known as the Forest, legendary foes face off. Robin Hood draws his bow with a bloody, wounded hand, having called his merry men through the wood to his side. The Sheriff of Nottingham and his deputy wield a crossbow and a sword, respectively, looking with malice at their quarry. And four people, their tales now intertwined, join the fray. And then you feel breath on the back of your neck as the sheriff's deputy has given up on the shield and goes to stab you in the back. Robin Hood he takes a step back and he nods and he says, "Very well. I wish not to doom your world. I will retreat and I will do my best to pursue my own happy ending. Men, with me." And he will skirt around the sheriff and start rushing back into the forest. Orion, I'm gonna need you to roll a defense as you get stabbed in the gut. Hello, and welcome to Storybook Ending. This is the podcast about humans, the stories they make, and the words that make them. I'm Loxley. I use VVer or they, them pronouns, and I am your keeper of stories. With us today is Addie.
Hi, my name's Addie. I use she, her pronouns, and I play the character Margie Gloucester.
We also have Grim.
Hi, I'm Grim. I don't really know anything about pronouns, so don't do any of them. How about that? I don't exist. I play Orion Mura, a very rich person.
All right, we also have Killian.
Hi, I'm Killian. I use they, he pronouns, and I play Tabs, the fox.
And we have Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Viola Thomas, the librarian, who also uses she, her pronouns.
As a reminder, where we left off, just kind of where everyone is, Palm is in a hole in the ground off to the side. Robin Hood and the Merry Men are currently walking into the forest, leaving the scene. The sheriff's man is looking to the sheriff for further instruction. The sheriff is mid-stab on Orion, knife in his gut. And Viola has the book, while Margie and Tabs are just kind of in between actions here. So, we left off with Orion.
Let's see. Did I even react to being stabbed?
You can react for sure.
I don't know how to react to being stabbed. I've never been stabbed before.
I imagine there'd be a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
Maybe don't scream into your mic.
Okay. It was 1 damage, non-lethal. I feel like it doesn't hurt as bad because it cuts through all the nerve endings.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It hurts. It hurts. It hurts.
Hold on. I do know someone who was stabbed in the gut. It was a pocket knife, but still.
Let's say it does hurt a lot. It doesn't feel like it's life ending, but
I say that he's full of adrenaline. Like, this is a very adrenaline thing.
That's also fair.
I'm sure it's gonna hurt like hell after, but I don't think he's going to react like, uh
It might just feel like a punch.
Give us some cussing.
It's gonna be more like a super sharp inhale, because he wasn't looking at him, so it was like taking him by surprise. Let me see if I can do
Yeah.
this. It's gonna be like, because it hits him right in the gut, and he's like, "Arr!" and then he's like, looks down at his stomach, sees that the sheriff's hand is still there on the dagger, and he goes to grab the sheriff's hand, so to like keep him from doing any more bullshit.
Okay.
Like, he's still trying to keep the spell up. I don't think he can, because he failed. He failed.
No, I think your pain spell has for sure ended
Yeah,
by
it
now.
failed. So yeah, no, he's grabbed the sheriff's hand and like clamped down, and he still has the sword in his hand, but he's still kind of like shocked. Like, he ain't reacting this turn. He's shocked.
I think with that, we will move on to Margie. Margie, you see that Robin has finally left after a lot of convincing. The librarian Viola has the magic book, and Orion is being stabbed right now by the sheriff in the middle of the street.
Is that the only move you've got? What kind of useless sheriff are you? Having to stab other people instead of upwriting law or whatever the fuck? Okay, you think this is your town? No, it ain't! It's Fox Jobs, mister! And can she just fucking please fire a potato gun and like have it succeed? I want it.
Yes, absolutely.
Ugh. Okay, style. I'm gonna go with style now.
All right, let me roll his defense, and hopefully he won't get 3 6s this time. Not like last time. He got a single 6.
You want me dead?
Look, I just, it's the numbers, okay?
Okay. Flippin' 5.
Oh. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw you a bone. I think the potato does hit him. You don't miss. It's just that he is not as maybe wavered as you would like him to be. Like, he turns and he glares at you.
He's probably also filled with adrenaline.
Yeah. Do you think the quiet spell is still ongoing, Viola? You did kind of leave and come
Oh,
back.
Well, I feel like she wrapped him up pretty good in that. There was a lot
Yeah,
of
that's fair.
a lot behind it.
I think that's fair. Yeah. So he just kind of turns and gives you a sharp look, Margie, but he is still kind of struggling with Orion over the knife. Anything else with your turn?
Margie says, God fucking damn it! And can she just, whack him? Sure, it might not really do any spiritual damage, but like for the story, can she just whack him with the potato gun?
Yeah, I think you
Kick him in the shin.
run over and you start just kind of whacking him, and he just kind of, if he could speak, you can imagine what he'd be saying, but he can't speak, so
Okay,
he's just kind of annoyed by it.
now that he is incredibly distracted by 2 of his stab victims, can some of y'all, Viola, tabs, do something?
Speaking of, I believe it is Viola's turn?
Yep.
Yeah, and she wants to look at this book and figure out what the hell to do.
Alrighty. How do you think you're gonna go about that? Are you just gonna do like a reason check, or do you want to use a spell to try and figure it out?
I think a reason check is going to make the most sense.
All right. And how many do you have in reason again?
I've got 2.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a decent chance. I think this far into the mystery, it's gone from a hard to an easy, just to figure out what to do. Just
Okay.
because you've gotten a lot more clues at this point. Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God Damn it.
You do have that token from earlier. I don't want to
Yeah.
make you use it, but it might be
No,
worth it at
that
this
feels like a good thing to use. So I just roll another one.
point. So as a reminder, one of the uses of a token can be to cause a reroll of any roll, and your preferred result stays.
Okay. Okay, that's a 5. So we'll take
5
away
and
my
1, thank
token.
God. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Viola, you kind of flip through this book and you get to that final chapter, the one that everyone's been so upset about. And the ink from when you struck through it is gone. The book has kind of reverted back to its natural state. And the when you flip to it, the pages almost flip of their own volition. Like they're going to the last chapter as if they are wanting to be concluded in a sense. And you recall when you were first striking through the chapter, the magic was fighting back against you, and you just felt that sense that endings have meaning, they have a weight to them, and it needs to be sort of brought about. They may not always be the happiest of endings, they may not always be the most satisfying, but
Okay. So she's flipped to the end.
mhm, mhm.
And she's just going to read the last line.
Yeah, please don't read the full chapter. That would take so
No,
long.
just the last line. And now, dear friend, we must also part, for our merry journeyings have ended, and here, at the grave of Robin Hood, we turn, each going his own way. And she's nervously
All right.
clicking her pen at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I am going to have this be a roll. It's going to be not epic, so just a single dice needs to succeed. It will be hard difficulty, and I will have everyone can use their reaction to give a boon here if they want, regardless of what you're doing. I feel like this is kind of that anime moment where everyone sort of bullet time sends their magic together to help out, if you want.
Yeah, please do.
I would love to.
Oh, and your what's the mouse's name? Snooky. Snooky can
Snooky.
also help.
Snooky's gonna roll some good feelings.
Mhm, mhm. That was Snooky's
Yeah.
roll to assist with the
Yeah.
1-5. Okay, so you'll add 1 dice total so far.
Do we just roll one of our impulses? Or does it have to be a spell?
For a boon, it generally has to be a spell, yeah. If you have an existing spell that works, you can use that for sure.
I was planning to make Savior permanent. Could that work?
Yeah, for sure, because this is a dire situation in need of saving.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead and roll that up and tell me what it looks like as you sort of lend your saving magic.
And that would just be with my daring. So 3d6.
No, for
Oh, wait.
a permanent spell, it's going to be the levels you have in that spell.
Oh, so it'd be 1.
Yeah. So that succeeds. So Viola's up to plus 2d6 right now. What does that look like, Tabitha?
I want to say that Tabitha will just like set their hand on Viola's shoulder to aid magically with like a wind
Yeah.
of golden magic washing over her and kind of disturbing the pages a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Like it.
I do want to ask actually, what does it look like when Snooky is helping out?
It's really cute and has sort of a magical girl vibe. She just sort of gives a cute little shake, and this like pink sparkle shakes off of her
Aw.
and lands on Viola.
She, Snooky tries to read the last sentence with you, but realizes that as a mouse cannot read.
Not so much, no.
So instead, instead just lends these pink sparkles or whatever. Yeah, I love that. That's very cute. All right, Orion and Margie, are either of you wanting to help out, or are you a bit busy?
Does gain work for this?
How would you gain something that would help Viola here?
I don't know. I mean,
I mean, you can make it work. I just need you to justify it for me.
Well, I don't think I can abuse the rules this way, but like, what if I just gain a token and like, I don't know, where is Viola?
Viola is behind you on the steps to the monastery.
Can I literally gain like a physical token that has the token effect and just throw it at her?
I think because tokens are kind of a meta idea. I don't know that that would work, but I think you can. Hmm. Uh, I'll say it's not going to be like a token TM, capital T token here, but I think for this specific instance, because it's just kind of an outpouring of magic, you can gain something that you can then lend to Viola for sure. It just won't be
Okay.
like the mechanical rule of a token.
You got any ideas? Because I don't right now. I'm not good with the help others.
You can use gain to make her gain confidence in what she's doing.
Does that run with the daring though?
I think if you're doing it
Being stabbed?
while you have a knife buried in your gut.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get these dice. I have 2 in gain. Let's run like that while everyone's still agreeing that this is something that can happen.
Before I change my mind.
3 and a 4.
All right, so that's one more dice for Viola.
Yes.
Margie, what about you? You wanna?
I think Margie's gonna shout some words of encouragement. She's like, Viola, I've always known you were a good storyteller. Give it all you got. As she's like
Hell
bleeding
yeah.
out. All right.
Uh, is this an existing spell or a new spell then?
A new spell, and I think it's just I'm checking the impulses right now. Style. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense to me.
All I got is soft.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what if you used so?
So?
As in, you've always been a great storyteller, so tell the story.
Okay.
Like so as sort of an encouraging word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll allow that. I think that makes sense.
He
And because
allows
this is sort of
it!
the climax of the arc, I think
Okay.
we can be a little bit more generous here.
Good dice rolls have him in a good mood.
Should I repeat that line? Emphasis on so?
If you want to, yeah, you can go for that.
Okay. Viola, I know you're a good storyteller, so just end the story!
Hell yeah. All right, so go ahead and roll your style again with your regular dice to see how much effect you have.
Okay.
Got my fingers crossed for you.
3.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your highest, or did you only have one dice?
I only have 1.
Okay. It doesn't have any mechanical effect, but maybe it helps Viola feel better because Margie is the only one that she actually knows here.
And his words of encouragement.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so I believe that was a total of
3.
3d6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, what impulse or spell do you want to be rolling here to make this work? It can be an impulse, by the way. It's magical, but it's like magic powered by you, so it doesn't have to be your regular thing, unless you want.
I would like to use the feeling impulse because as a writer, Viola feels the vibes of the end of a story.
Hmm. All right. Yeah.
So that's the reasoning for using feeling.
No, that totally makes sense to me. And then
Okay.
you have the extra 3d6.
Okay.
And again, you just need to hit 1 6.
All right. Crossing my fingers.
Me too.
Yes.
Hey!
3 2 3 2 6 6.
Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Yay! Let's go.
Oh, hell yes! Oh my gosh.
For anyone who steals my debit card, that's my PIN number.
Right. So I think Viola, you read out this final line of the story. And the book in your hand starts to shake a little bit, and then it just slowly closes. The last page turns, and in front of you, you see the sheriff's man, and he looks around and he's kind of confused, and he says, none of this is right. We shouldn't be here. This isn't our story." And wait, hold on. No, I can't just Thanos snap them. I gotta be unique. Okay, hold
Yes,
on.
you can.
But yeah, I think the sheriff's man starts to look at his hands, and they're replaced by the word hand, and his feet are replaced by the word, feet and shoes, and he looks over at you, Viola, and instead of seeming scared for his life or sort of existentially confused, he just nods and he says, "Thank you. I'll go back to my story." The sheriff turns to you, and in turn he says, because he can't talk still,
Oh yeah.
because his mouth is still covered in ink, but he starts to turn into words and then disappears. The forest in front of you creaks as trees sort of rearranged, be less dense, less dark, less like a real forest. And behind you, the library itself turns back into a library instead of a monastery. Things are turning back to normal. You're still wounded, Margie and Orion. You still have those wounds, but the weapons that caused them are gone. Which might actually be a bad thing for Orion. I think removing the knife is supposed to make the wound worse if you're not able to immediately treat it. We'll see. Anyways, the effect of your spells is still there, so Tom is still in a hole. But all around town, things are returning not quite to normal, but to a calmer state.
Right. You're bleeding, so we should fix that.
Of course.
Wait, hold on. I was zoned out. Wait, is the weapon gone from his stomach?
Yes, the
Yes.
dagger
Oh,
was part of the
shit.
sheriff's thing. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's like still kind of like he was in the middle of like desperately keeping the sheriff's arm from moving to keep him from like I don't know moving the dagger inside of his stab wound. So like when the sheriff eventually just like disappears, like his hand is still clenching, and then he's just like he's in shock. He's never actually been stabbed before. Like he's had other
Who'd have
things
thunk?
happen, but he's never been stabbed before, and he's shocked. Everything's wearing off. The pain is slowly rolling back in. And he's just like there, just holding nothing, while while there's just a gaping hole in his gut.
Right. Tabs, I need you to apply pressure to that wound. Orion, you should sit down.
I think Tabs would have been going to get Tom out of this hole, actually. Gonna go make sure the kid's okay.
One hole for the other.
Gut wounds aren't that serious, but like if they miss all the
You're
vital
saying that
organs,
as someone who hasn't gotten stabbed.
I mean, I watch a lot of hospital shows.
Someone
Okay,
who works in medicine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, gut wounds are bad.
oh cool.
And Viola has probably had first aid as part of her library training because she
Mhm.
works with kids. So, yes, Orion, you need to sit down. And, Margie, you should sit down as well. And she's reaching into her pocket to pull out her cell phone and call 911 because this is a problem.
Yeah, it sure is.
I'll keep an eye on him, okay? You just call 911 and you go get that first aid kit in the library, okay?
Right,
For-
keep applying pressure.
I
And,
know, I got it. I mean, I know it didn't do much for somebody who claims she can't do anything, but I know first
Ooh.
aid.
Okay. So, yeah, Viola will be on the phone with 911 and running for the first aid kit, which probably doesn't have anything particularly useful for gut wounds, but
I mean, pack it with gauze or something.
Mhm.
You got like Paw Patrol band-aids in there?
Yes, so
Like
many Paw Patrol
non-branded animated television.
Does Orion still have the sword in his hand that he summoned? I feel like it would have gone away now. If it hasn't, he's going to like throw it like away.
That's a good question. Does your magically gained stuff usually disappear?
Well, I didn't set it as a ongoing spell, so I guess it would eventually just disappear.
Sure. Yeah, I think
I don't
actually
know.
as you're sitting down, it kind of vanishes from your hand, and the glow of your fingertips starts to dim back to a normal state.
Ow!
There we go. There's the owl we were waiting for.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Fuck!
Just keep maintaining pressure, okay? Ugh.
I like how all four of you have magic that you just used a shit ton of, and none of you are
Yeah.
thinking, hey, should we maybe try to heal this guy with magic?
No, because we're panicking.
Yeah,
Because
panic is a very
No, that's fair.
We haven't rolled a single 6. And by we, I mean I haven't rolled a single 6. So, I don't know, man.
That's fair. Margie had it rough.
Yeah. Okay.
Tabitha, you were getting Tom, right?
Yes. So like crouching down at the edge of the hole.
Alright, I'm gonna need you to roll an epic challenge of 3.
Ah!
No, I'm kidding.
To get him out of the hole.
No, yeah, you pull him out. It's awkward, but he reaches up and he's like, "Give me uppies." No, he doesn't say that.
not an 8-foot hole and he's 6 foot tall.
But you do. You help him kind of climb out, and he kind of brushes himself off. There's a little bit of like, pebbles and dirt and stuff from the hole in the street he was on, or I guess sidewalk. But anyways, he looks up at you, and his eyes lock with yours, and he kind of gives the tiniest little blush. But he looks away and he says, thanks. That was weird. Hey, is that guy bleeding? Is Margie bleeding? Oh god, Miss Margie.
Don't worry about it, child.
oh.
Edward.
Okay. Hi, Tom. I don't suppose you have an extra piece of cloth that I can wrap around myself?
Yeah, here. And he tries to tear his shirt, but he's not strong enough to just tear his shirt. So he's just kind of tugging at it. And he's like,
Let's just pull it over your head, honey. Just pull it over your head.
okay.
Pull it over your head.
Tabs is gonna grab Tom by the shoulder and kind of like nudge him along. Now go along. We can handle this right here.
He looked very grateful that he didn't have to take his shirt off.
What would happen if the whole world knew monsters existed? That they could be your neighbor, your barista, or your childhood bully? Hi, we're Pest Control, a mostly Monster of the Week actual play show that just started our 2nd season, and we're asking exactly those questions.
We are another tabletop podcasting show, but we utilize Monster of the Week very well. It feels almost like you are watching a show. It gets really dark.
Yeah, and in between all that, we're a little bit of some silly little goofers.
Sam enables some extremely impactful story moments built up from themes and creature designs.
I'm William, they, them, and I'm playing Kelly Aberdeen, he, him, who is a vigilante who wants more than anything to be a monster and cannot become one.
I'm Sam, she, they, and I'm playing Nami, she, her, who is an angel who fucked up and has to make up for it.
My name is Jonas, they, them, and I'm playing Rabbit Moon, he, they, she, a demon boy who changes forms and plays with gravity. Rabbit is using the custom playbook, The Shape Changer.
And my name is Keeper Sam. Come follow Pest Control as we watch the story of Kelly, Nami, and Rabbit trying to keep the community of Norfolk safe from the encroaching influence of the city. Come check us out.
I would like to roll reason just to see if Viola, while she's running for the first aid kit, can realize that maybe she could try magic.
Sure, yeah, go for it. It'll just be a regular difficulty.
Will a 3 do it? A 3 won't do it, will it? It has to be a 4, doesn't it?
It has to be a 4. I mean, look, this was a role that you chose to do.
Yep.
I think there needs to be a consequence, but it doesn't have to be that you don't realize. I think maybe,
You
I think
waste
maybe
time.
maybe the consequence can be that she is on the phone with the 911 operator and realizes that she can do this and hangs up on 911,
Oh god.
which is always a terrible plan.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's not a good thing to do.
Yay, we get to be cops.
But I feel like that's the sort of thing that, oh, never mind, I've got this, and just hangs up.
Did she say that? Did she say, "Oh, never mind, I got this," or she just hangs up without an explanation?
Would she say that? No, I think she'll just sort of go, oh, and hang up.
Probably more concerning to them.
Yeah. Oh, I
Probably
love that.
This poor dispatcher.
You are a major figure in town. So I feel like they might recognize your voice and know where to go eventually. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, you realize as you have this first aid in hand that, like, hey, you have magic. So
Yeah. And so she will dash outside and pull her pen out and start clicking it as she runs up to Orion. I think we might be able to fix this. What would be the healing roll? Is that going to have to be grit to do a spell? Or could it be reason for, like, thinking through how first aid works?
So for recovery spells, recovery can restore spirit damage. If
Okay.
a character is attempting a recovery during rounds of conflict, the difficulty will be hard. The points of effect can recover spirit damage from any impulse and can be divided among multiple impulses. So basically it's kind of like with the boon, but instead of giving a d6 to a roll, it recovers one spirit damage full point.
Okay.
And it can be any impulse that makes sense within the context. So this could be, calm, it could be reason if you're kind of working through how the wound looks with your first aid knowledge. It can be pretty much anything.
I think reason makes the most sense. I would love for it to be feeling, but I can't find a way to justify that, so.
Okay, sure. Go for reason.
All right.
I don't know how many letters you got on your screen, but on mine you got 9, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I got 4.
Oh.
But
That's a lot less good.
I could do aim. And aim my magic at the spot that's bleeding.
Quick scope, Orion.
Because my magic seems to be this, like, flow of ink from the pen that can bind things.
That's true. Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that works. Because you, like you said, you've used it in like a sort of magic made physical way a lot with the yoke and the quiet and all that.
Yeah. All right, we're
All
gonna
right,
try
so
this.
you will roll those 2d6 again, and any 4 pluses will heal him.
There's a 6.
Hell yeah. So Orion, you recover 1 point of spirit damage. You only
Nice.
had 1 taken, right?
Yeah, one spirit damage taken.
Yeah, so it still hurts a bit, but I think this does heal you up to the point where you can kind of stand again. You've lost a bit of blood, but you are, good to go. Margie, I think your wound is starting to bleed more now that adrenaline is kind of wearing off, or at least you're noticing it more.
Yep.
You are also injured.
I think after she, watches Viola do that little trick with Orion, she's like, oh, duh, I could just try another magical spell. I think I'm gonna go with the Impulse Renown. Just because of what she had said earlier, like, I say I could do anything, but I didn't do shit. I think just for pure, like, self-esteem reasons, she wants to be able to, like, heal herself. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
I was confused at first, but that does make sense. That it's kind of a pride issue at this point. So
Yeah.
okay.
Do I just
This is a new spell.
new spell? Yeah. So okay, and that's a 2d6. Let's go. Okay.
Aw, you don't quite have heal.
I mean, I kind of have heal. I kind of.
If you want to force the spell, you can.
Yeah, if I just misspell it, like how I did with bone.
Do it!
What you want me to spell?
I'm sure that will have the stab wound gain sentience.
I'm just gonna do everything right now. Okay, what I was going at with Helio. Helio is a word related to the sun, related to, like, for example, heligraph, the signaling device that uses reflected sunlight. My point is to use the power of the sun to at least cauterize the wound so it'll stop bleeding. Not necessarily healing it, but at least stopping the bleeding. That's just
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So new spell, Helio. And then, do I just cast it, or do I have to roll another 2d6 to see if it'll work?
You will roll the 2d6 again, and that'll be determine how effective it is.
I got a 6!
Oh, 2 points. So you would heal...
Nice.
Yeah, you heal 2 points of spirit damage, which I think brings you back to full.
Yeah.
So what does this kind of look like?
Ironically, as, you know, wind is kind of blowing in her hair and stuff, like, you kind of just hear a fizzle where her hand is. So I think, okay, at first, she starts kind of, her, like, hand, it's not on fire, it's just, like, really heated and stuff for her to, like, essentially burn the wound and stuff. So at first it, like, activates, and she's like, oh shit, wait, I need to, like, clear it out first. I need to remove my shirt from that area. So you first smell, like, burnt fabric, and then you would see, like, Marjorie kind of be like, oh shit, wait, and then just, like, wrestling and, like, shoving her shirt, like, up just to expose the wound more clearly, and then she places her hand. Actually, no, before she does that, she asks the crowd, does anybody have something that I can perhaps bite down on? I really don't want to lose a tongue, you know?
Well, there's no longer a sword hilt. You can bite down on a potato.
I guess I'm biting down on a potato, and she,
Oh my god.
she, with her other hand, she grabs a potato, she kind of, like, shoves it into her mouth, and then she just puts her, like, flaming hand, essentially, on her wound. And you can just hear her scream into the potato, and she's, like, taking a bite down already, like, clean through. So now she's got a mouthful of potato, and her skin is burning, and the leftover potato kind of just drops from her mouth because she's, like, been clear, like, clean through, because it hurts.
So that happens. I'm gonna say, just for future reference, you did get a full success. You didn't have to make it that hard on yourself. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you.
I mean, what I was thinking is the full success means the spell works, but because the whole point is to cauterize herself, it's gonna work really well. So that's how I would interpret it.
That's fair. Let me...
Ow!
I will say, Helio, which I believe is another name for Helios, the original sun god of the Greek mythology, was associated with healing.
For real?
So you had a slightly more direct route there.
Oh shit! I did not take a. I didn't go any further than Cambridge Dictionary.
I might be wrong, but it's not good. I mean, it happened now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you two are healed. You're stabilized. There are people starting to come out of the street. They kind of hid and weren't super important to notice before, so I didn't really want to go out of my way after the first setup of the scene. But yeah, there are people over there wondering, like, what the hell is happening in this town?
Oh my god.
Edward is just kind of walking down the sidewalk, and he says, oh hey, is the library open yet? I still need to get that book. Hey, why is your skin burnt? Are you okay?
Special effects. We've been
Yeah.
rehearsing a play.
A play in the street.
Well, you know, it
Have
was
you heard of what was it, Orion? Oh yes, D&D. Have you heard of that, Edward?
God.
This is a LARP? Edward looks between Margie and Viola and says, I do know you can do magic. We all saw it pretty clearly. And like Robin Hood was here and stuff. I know I'm and he kind of sighs and he looks at Viola and then looks down and he says, I know you don't think highly of me, but I'm not that stupid.
right. We were just hoping that no one had noticed. The library it's not open right now. I don't have
Okay.
the capacity for that. Try tomorrow.
Okay, I'll try tomorrow. I'll get that book eventually. Just want to get back on my feet after yeah. And he turns on his heel and just kind of walks away, hanging his head. So that's rough.
Orion is going to stand up, still with his hand against his side, but then he realizes that this motherfucker ruined his shirt that was very comfortable, and like, god damn, he's just overall back to the fact that his fuse that he had been trying to let regrow back into a long fuse instead of him blowing up at every little thing, it's now cut even shorter. He should never have moved to this town, is what he's thinking right now.
Oopsies.
Orion is then going to, after he's just like, fuck my shirt, he's going to start walking back into town and like stop at a random NPC and be like, which way's the hospital?
They look confused and then they look down at your bloody shirt and they say, "Oh, um, that way.
Thank you.
If it's a serious wound, you might need to go out of town."
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. He's going to start
Okay.
walking to the hospital.
Okay.
Do you know where it is?
I mean, they pointed in a general direction.
I have a question though. When will the 911 people, the cops, the ambulance, and all of that arrive at Fox Jumps?
That's a great question.
Is there even like an in-town 911 dispatch? Like, did you call the big city?
These are all important questions. Moving on. No, I'm kidding.
I have a friend who works for a 911 dispatch, and even if you get put into the central big city location, they will dispatch from your locality.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's definitely something here in town.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot, but okay. Yeah, I think you do start to hear the sirens. How much do you think Viola said before she hung up? I
Oh,
assume she didn't ask for cops. She probably asked for an
no,
ambulance.
she absolutely said that there's someone who's been stabbed.
Well, cops would show up for that, I think.
That's fair. No, that's
At
a good
least for
point.
like question the people who were nearby.
I want to say the ambulances are like some of the last responders that you get. You'll get like the firefighters first and then cops typically.
I do not know this because I have not been stabbed again.
In the town the size of Fox Jumps, I think we could probably play it that all three show up at about the same time.
For sure.
Because honestly, the town's not all that big.
This is true.
And people are probably not on the road because of everything that's happened and also the town meeting and everything.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, Orion, you're walking down the sidewalk as you hear a cacophony of different sirens and a police car and a fire truck and an ambulance all drive past you.
Oh, he keeps walking.
Okay. Yeah, they arrive at the library, and now I have to role play as a cop, and not like a weird medieval cop, but like an actual cop.
I assume the cops here can't be any worse than the cops that were just here.
Yeah, the police officer steps out of their car and says, "Ugh, where's the librarian?" No, I can't. I got to do a new voice. I only have so many voices though.
What's his name?
We haven't gotten that far yet. Uh, let's see. It can't be any of the existing PCs or NPCs. I mean, uh,
Make it a woman. Badass female cop.
I was gonna say Harold, but now it can just be Harriet.
I mean, if you look at our list of NPCs that we know of, we've got John Noble, Edward, Samantha Youst, Tom, Annabella, the postal volunteer, and Jojo the woodworker, and Farmer Joffrey.
Farmer Joffrey. Yeah.
So
the only one I think it could be would be JoJo. Maybe he does the wood craftsmanship in his, as a hobby in his spare time.
okay, I will edit that in.
Yeah, it's JoJo.
I like
Margie, you know
that.
JoJo pretty well.
I do know JoJo pretty well. Remind me who she is again.
I think I think you did use he him pronouns for JoJo originally.
Okay.
All we know about him is that when you first investigated the carriage, you said, "Oh, I know JoJo's work, and even he's not good enough at woodsmanship to make this."
True. I first mentioned him by insulting him. That makes sense for me.
Oh, poor JoJo.
Yeah, no, he steps out of the car and he says, where's the librarian? We got a call, but they hung up. Is everything okay?" Oh my God, Margie, are you okay? Is that blood? Is that your blood?
Yes. She wanted to make a joke, but she just doesn't have the patience for it anymore. So yeah, we got in a bit of a situation, and she kind of just tries to get herself up to her knee and then onto her feet. Basically, some bozo fancy himself as a sheriff, wanting to eliminate anybody that he didn't like, and he kind of went stab crazy. Don't worry, we've written him off right now, but I need to get to the hospital stat. I stopped the bleeding, but I don't. And she kind of just reveals the wound to her, and she's like, I don't really want to have this on my body for the rest of my life. I want to get it on. Yeah. Let's get a move on.
Yeah,
Let's get a move on, JoJo.
While you're talking, the paramedics are coming out of the ambulance and kind of wheeling a cot over here. They're like, "Yeah, let's get you to the hospital." Oh my God. Okay, the burn. You said he stabbed you. Where's the burn come from?
Don't worry about it. You think I don't have a few tricks up my sleeve? Don't worry about it.
Did you light yourself on fire to stop at the? Okay. And Margie gets taken to the hospital. Is anyone else going with her, or are you just gonna let her go?
Let her go.
Yeah, I think we'll just let her go. You may want to keep an eye out on the road. There was another young man who has since wandered off, as he tends to do. He also was somewhat injured.
And then Jojo says, "Oh, shit, I knew we should have stopped for that guy. The kid. I thought maybe he was wearing a weird, funny comic shirt, so I thought maybe the blood was part of that. But
No, definitely not.
shit. Okay. Yeah, this is why you don't trust police officers. Just kidding. There's a lot better reasons for that. Okay, bye." And he gets in his car and starts looking for Orion. Um, so what are Viola and Tabitha doing?
Uh, yeah. Viola's gonna look at Tabitha. I think that it might be a good idea just to head to the tavern or the Lazy Dog and see if it's still the Lazy Dog or the tavern. In any case, they have liquor there, and I think that sounds like a really good plan after today.
Yes, perhaps you're right. I do have a couple questions for you whenever you have the time, though. A couple of things to research.
Oh, would you like to stay here then? I've got all the books here.
Yes, but we can always take a trip somewhere else to grab your liquor and then return.
No, I don't want liquor around the books. Let's just head inside. Ask away.
I feel like Tabs would have had plenty of time to look at the coins that's in their bag. And he's going to offer it out to Viola, like the coin pouch. Do you know what this currency is? It was not similar to the one that the sheriff had, from what I could tell. And I can't say that I recognize these symbols upon these coins.
Okay. Viola will look at them. Is it anything she recognizes right away?
Depends on how well you know your ancient coins.
I think if it's clearly something that is an ancient coin, she could probably identify that much.
Sent you a little picture in chat.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay,
Wait,
so
Oh.
looking at those,
Oh yeah, those are pretty easy to identify.
Yeah,
these look like ancient coins. They don't look modern. I have a book on coins. I've got several books on coins. Come in. Let's see what we can find.
perfect. Thank you, dear.
So yeah, I think she can identify that they are ancient. They look vaguely Greek. So that gives her a good starting point to pull out the books and try to identify them a little bit more clearly than just old Greek stuff.
Yeah. Killian, do you want to say what she finds? Because I don't know exactly what you've had in mind here.
I figured that we could even do like a cutaway here from like to let them research and have their little moment while everyone else is like
Yeah.
cutting away.
We can do that. So we see Viola lead Tabitha back into the library once again. And the door closes with those bells jingling. And the camera, similar to the first episode, picks up and starts going down the street. We see the blood spilled on the street. We see a rather large hole in the sidewalk, which did not get wiped away by the magic. And we see the town. We see the town of Fox Jumps. It is eerily unchanged after all the crazy magic that ensued. There's still the pharmacy, the antique store, the library is back to how it was. We see the lazy dog back to its former glory. And we see Orion. We see Jojo the cop stopping in front of him and asking him like, "Hey, what's up?" We don't hear what they're saying, but we see that interaction begin. And we sort of zoom out and we see the town. We see the forest back to what it should be, which is just a calm little park in the middle of town. And the first chapter of this story comes to a close.